Hi, I'm Timothy Zahn, author of Thrawn, and you're listening to the Escape Podcast. This episode was recorded in front of a live studio audience.
One is a Grand Arena specialist from the UK. The other is a territory battle tactician from the US. Together, there are no signs of intelligent life on board. But with both having decades of hosting experience under their belt, the one thing we are sure of is you will be entertained. This is the Escape Podcast, a weekly look into the mobile game Star Wars: Galaxy of Heroes. Live from the Nerdy Network studios of Yavin 4, here are your hosts, Neil Andrew Eyre and Paul Anthony.
Coming up on this week's edition of the Escape Podcast.
Go ahead, Paul. Say it.
Hondo Ohnaka is coming to the hollow tables.
Feels good, that, doesn't it?
Hell yes, it does. We have been holding it close to our vest the entire month.
You had dropped a few inconspicuous morsels yourself, though. I kept stum.
Well, of course you did, because you knew. But, you know, when you know the character you've been lobbying for the past 30 months, you can't hold it all inside.
We will talk about those hints and the entire puzzle that started with Cubs and Grid in our extended first segment.
And then we'll rerun the Hondo reveal in its entirety in case anybody missed it.
Today is also the day that we give away that handheld, isn't it?
Yes, anybody who currently is subbed, even gift subs, has a chance to win.
Along with our patrons, of course.
And, of course, the people that donate at least 100 bits during today's show.
We will draw the winner on the bridge.
Along with Patreon's choice.
All this and any more breaking news as and if it happens.
Right here on the Escape Pod Cast.
The Escape Pod Cast News.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Escape Pod Cast. I'm your host there, Fad. As always, I'm joined by my life partner, Paul Anthony. Paul, how excited are you right now?
Oh man, I still have not come down from Cloud 9. That's It's simply as easily put as that. This is a celebration show. I mean, we're late, so we were supposed to go Friday. The way that everything was thought to have gone is that on Friday, Cubs was supposed to open the box at 1 p.m. Pacific, but he had to delay it 4 hours. So we were guessing that we would have gotten to the part where you and I did our thing right at the end of our show.
All right,
it was the original plan. So as we're, signing off, doing our show, covering, people doing the puzzle live, we were then supposed to go off the air with some static and then come back with the video that you will see later on, or you'll hear when we come back from our into our incoming transmission, because today's guest is essentially a replay. Thank you, Awakened, for the 200 bits. And we'll explain why that is a good thing in just a moment. But we go off the air, but all of a sudden come right back on.
Yeah.
Because I kept my mouth shut during the entire puzzle. I didn't even know when our part was coming up. And as soon as we're starting to solve the crossword puzzle, I'm going, this is pointing to my link. I better get this ready. So I snuck away.
Snuck away to fire up the link, yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Would you be willing to like do a little highlight reel of the whole thing? Because I missed out a lot. I don't even know how it got to you. Would that be something you'd be willing to do?
How about I do this instead, Bob? And I was going to introduce you.
Hello, I'm Bob.
Bob is our AI, also known as Bones88. Check him out, twitch.tv/Bones88. How about I make this announcement right now? Ladies and gentlemen, this Friday, at our normally scheduled time, Crumb will join us to talk about the puzzle in depth.
Awesome. Can Bob stay around for that one?
I will see what I can do. I will see what I can do.
I promise I won't talk too much, okay?
But no, it's been it's this whole past weekend has been really fun. Thank you to the entire community for participating in this. Thank you to the Puzzle Masters for making this a lot of fun and giving us a common place to rally around. I'm happy. What did you think when we finally are able to talk about it, Neil?
No, as soon as I saw a few tweets. I saw a few tweets about it in the afternoon of the following day, and I was like, right, okay. So it's gone. So I checked my phone for any YouTube notifications, and the YouTube notification popped up for the video that we recorded.
Yep.
I think it might have been about 15 or 20 minutes into it, but there was a couple of hundred people watching it. And I was like, oh, right, okay, so they're at the video, which means here's the payout. So they must have, solved the puzzle.
Yeah, but there was still more to go.
There was still more after the reveal.
So in our part of the puzzle, we put a code, and I'll talk about that in a moment. Mm-hmm. We put a code that spelled out Imager 22, whatever it was. That was it was another puzzle that took us to Aphra.
Uh-huh.
So we were the next to last thing. So it was Hondo revealed, do a puzzle, and now here's Aphra.
An Aphra revealed, right.
Calvin, awesome. Thank you very much for the raid of 20 people. So let's get into the giveaway really quick before, especially because we've got Calvin rating right now. So anybody that's currently a Patreon, you've been entered. Anybody that's currently a sub, whether you're gifted a sub or you subbed yourself, you are entered. 1 entry each. Now, what Nev's holding up in his hand is the Abernick. What model is it again?
It's the RG350.
The RG350. So the Abernick,
the orange and black version.
And this is a handheld device that could play a ton of retro games.
Basically, yeah.
Anybody that donates 100 bits today gets 1 additional entry. So, here we go. Awaken 777, you get an entry. Cascade, you get an entry. We still have until the bridge, until the end of the show, you can enter, and we'll put your name on the list as well. Atlantis Cloven says, how have y'all recovered from the lack of sleep Friday night? I slept in Sunday. I mean, I was dead to the world.
I slept like a baby. I wasn't up. I had work the next day. So, yeah.
Dr. Feelgood, thank you for the 100 bits. We now have a hype train going.
Now I have a hype train.
We do have a hype train going. So, anybody that we will acknowledge everything at the end of the hype train, as high as you can get it. Awesome. See what we can do. So, let's start at the beginning. And you're gonna kind of get your recap right now, Bob. We had a puzzle that was shipped to Cubs, and Gridden came down. Not gonna say exactly where they live, but he made the drive, and Gridden was there and they opened the box. It contained a puzzle, and it contained 2 pieces of parchment with hidden writing. Some of the clues led to heating one of the parchment. Some of the clues led to putting the other parchment inside the freezer for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Those.
I just want to say, Cub's reaction to us telling him to put it in the oven or something was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, we're telling him, put it in the oven. At 300 degrees. 451 is when it will burst into flames. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So, it was links, and then they had in the puzzle that they did, which had many, many more side pieces than it should have. Dr. Feelgood just donated 666 bits. I forgot that we have you going angry whenever somebody does that.
Yeah. That was a while ago. That was
that was the beginning of the show. Yes.
Many moons ago. I was going through my standing up phase as a content creator.
So then what happened is it led to a Dropbox that had comics in it, which led to a programming language that we had to figure out, which that link, once you ran the programming language, it output a Twitch feed to go to, which was Crumb's Twitch feed, not his personal one. But we had to then, as a chat group, direct a car through a maze. Yeah, it was Robbie the Maze. Yeah, it was Twitch Plays Maze. So we went through the maze. We found the second part first. And luckily there was more that we didn't realize that we also needed. We should have turned around at the start. I'm just going to say that. But we found the 3 pieces of paper that we needed in the maze. We then moved on. Oh man, what was after the maze? What was it? I think after the maze. Let me pop back into events Discord here so we know. I think it was the Mega Man thing. I had caught onto that as soon as I saw it. Oh no. Oh, okay. Yes, it was the Mega Man cipher. What we had to do was find a Mega Man password generator, because you remember the original Mega Man. Instead of save states, you could put in a password, and and that you would load up.
It would load up from where that password had saved it in the game. Yeah.
So
you used to have to do that with cartridge games.
And so we used that along with another cipher to get to a YouTube video of Crumb playing a game show with Ranger, Kate Gaming, and Gridden. We take all of those, which then brought us to the crossword, which led to us. The crossword was all retro gaming stuff as well, which was really, really cool.
I wish you
would have been awake
I wish
too.
I hadn't missed that. That would have been nice.
So, we did not complete a hype train, but Subtle Dagger, 100 bits. Dr. Feelgood was 666 bits. Thank you, guys. You can still enter. You don't have to contribute to the hype train to be entered to win the handheld. After that, we had a grid placement where we pulled the letters from of the crossword, which led to us, led to the Hondo reveal.
Mm-hmm.
They noticed immediately in the description Pigpen cipher or Pigpen lettering that said "keep going." So they knew this wasn't the very end, but we still got to do our reveal all throughout our video, which you'll see coming up in a bit. Some of the frames in our interview glowed blue at one time. But then it led to, I forget exactly what this is called. But you basically have a strip that wraps around a rod, and you can read what it says left to right and turn it, and it gives you the entire thing. Once you did that, that led to the Aphra reveal.
Right, okay.
So there's your encapsulation, but we're going to go more in depth with Crumb this coming Friday. When we have him on live to tell us all about every little piece that went into this and how much they were probably banging their heads, because I'm the only one solving the programming language. I'm the only puzzle master that was in chat. Sig was tired, so he took an hour off, and I'm sitting there banging my head. There's all these H's, capital and lowercase. I have no idea what we're trying to do. So it was Atlantis once again says it was a roller coaster, so much fun, so worth it. I wholeheartedly agree. So, Bob, we kept you in the dark. The only two people aside from CG employees that knew about Hondo was Neil and I.
Yeah.
When you saw this happen, when you heard the reveal that Hondo was coming to the game, did it come from us, or did you hear it elsewhere and go, Paul should have been part of that?
So, like, when I found out that he was coming to the game?
Yeah, when did you find out?
Well, so I fell asleep with headphones in my ear, laptop open, watching you, just like passed out because I was staying up as late as I could. I woke up in the middle of your reveal, so that's how I found out about it.
Okay.
I woke up at the perfect time. Didn't have to sit through the puzzle. Got the reveal straight to it. But no, as a spectator, man, that was some of the funnest I've had in a while. Just watching all that. I had a blast, and so I just think you guys did a great job, and it was cool getting to be a part of it. Not as far as on your side, but helping do stuff and hanging out with the community and everything and doing it. So that was pretty cool, man. Also, what a good month or so of SWGOH. I got my,
you got
and all that.
Yep, you got Jabba, you got Black Chrysanthemum a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and then you get your people. That's cool, man. And then you got the reveal, which you deserve, of course, that we all figured would happen. But when I saw it was revealed, I was like, this makes so much sense. I was like, why didn't I see this way sooner? But it was really cool, man. It was really cool.
This has really been the year of, or the quarter at least, of the scoundrel, of the smuggler. Chrysanthemum, the Hut Cartel, Jabba, Hondo, Aphra. Aphra is 100% a smuggler. I think there are 3 more characters, by the way. We were given the heads up that Aphra's going to be a legacy character. There's 3 more characters coming. Let's start the speculation right now.
Both are droid. Under normal circumstances, I would say both are droids.
I agree.
I would say both are droids, but
BT1. By the way, BT1 and 000.
BT, yeah. So, but at least we know what's going to happen. She will be the reward. So there's going to be what you think? There's only going to be. It's going to be 4, just like the previous occasion.
Mm-hmm. We already know there's 4. There's 4 boxes underneath Aphra.
Underneath Aphra, yeah.
And the first one says 10-5, which is the release of Hondo.
No, I think if that is exactly what they're doing, well then no, droids aren't going to be there. It's not going to be droids. It's going to be expanded outwards. Because the last one, it was so random. You had Dash Rendar, you had Kyle Katarn. Darth Talon was just pure gold, and so was Mara Jade was just the icing on the cake. So we got 4 good characters, right, and then we got Starkiller. So I think it's time to start. It's time to hit the book of extended universe characters again, and see what we get.
Atlantis thinks that we're going to get one on the 12th and the 19th and the 26th. I don't think it's coming that quick. I think it's October 5th, Hondo. October 19th will be revealed next week or the week of. November 2nd and November 16th. So we will go into Thanksgiving with the ability to go after the Legacy event.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do think, there's going to be a twist in there that alters it slightly from the previous Legends event. So the last Legends event, it was 4 characters, 4 different eras, 2 light, 2 dark, and they all had good, relatively good Omicrons. And obviously it was, so 2 light, 2 dark for Starkiller, so they could throw a twist in it on this occasion, because obviously they're now making hay with the neutral tag. So some decent neutral. So it could be like 4 characters from completely different eras, with completely different, whether could be a scoundrel, could be a Jedi, could be anything, but it's got the neutral tag, so that they can start piling on because we need more neutral characters. So scour the extended universe for all of those characters that you think are neutral. They don't really take a side, or they play both sides. Something along those lines, I think, is possible. I think that's more likely than her droids coming.
I think each one is going to be one of the droids. I personally think so. And this is going to be a name that you're going to need to look up, likely, Bob. But I believe that we're getting the 2 droids, and we're getting Sanastaros, who is Dr. Aphra's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's just going to be all characters exclusive to her comic book timeline?
I do think so.
Right. Okay.
I do think so.
That could be the twist. I just because it's being referred to as a Legends event. All right. It requires 4 legends, and none of those characters could you class as legends.
Are you ready for this?
Go ahead.
Forlom, Zuckuss, Cal Kestis.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to dismiss that at all.
Yeah. I'd like to say, the thing is, Forlom would be a bounty hunter, so I don't know. They could start throwing in. They could start making some new bounty hunters neutral, but then
if you think about it, bounty hunters are on the dark side of neutral, but they're still technically neutral as long as you pay them.
Hey, not a lot of people know this, but it's not a cartoon. Okay, extended universe nerd hat on again. All right, but there's a Star Wars stories. It wasn't like an almanac type comic, so it would have, you'd open it up and it'd have like 5 stories from the Star Wars universe, and one of them was about Greedo and him doing something good. And then, obviously, ultimately, we know what happens to Greedo. So this kind of the comic strip itself actually puts quite a human, it gives like Greedo some humanity. So you reevaluate that scene with him and Han, and you're like, oh, Greedo, instead of like, it's like, oh. So yeah. neutral tags. I mean, what the thing is, what do you think would come? I mean, the characters that you've just said, Paul, that they're not really. They wouldn't legitimately be neutral, would they? They'd have to be classed as dark side.
Sana's not going to be dark side. I mean, Sana played both sides.
Yeah.
And I believe that Aphra is probably going to be neutral because, once again, she played both sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. From Darth Lucas, Talon Card. Talon Card was very, very neutral during the Thrawn trilogy.
I could see that.
He played both sides, but he did it so masterfully that the rebellion didn't. It was weird. He's such a very, very, and he's got a capital ship as well. So that would be a good legend. I mean, to see him as a legend, that would be, with the beard and it'll look pretty awesome. Talon Card would, if they use the artwork from the graphic novel, because the Thrawn trilogy got turned into an audiobook, it got turned into a graphic novel as well. So, Talon Card would be very, very, very good.
Alanis also points out, now that we have Mara Jade, we need Sabath and Card as well.
Yeah.
Another one could be Prince Zizor, since they're doing some Shadows of the Empire stuff. And he was kind of neutral. He was bad, but he was an underworld like gangster.
Yeah, the thing is, it's when you're talking about that, it's like, there's nothing done for the good, for a common good, and there's
right.
there aren't even any positive unintended consequences, that everything is aimed for, them getting something. So when it comes to those types of big bosses, the big underworld bosses, I would always peg them as dark side and throw a red glow around them.
BCM says Maz Kanata.
Yeah, no, Maz would be a good neutral. Maz would be a very, very good neutral tag. Yeah, absolutely.
People have been throwing her name around too lately, so that could definitely be a possibility.
So,
but of course, you want Tag and Bink.
God, don't! Tag and Bink in the game, that would just be incredible. Oh, that would be just so freaking awesome, because the special in that the speciality for every character has like something that makes them ultimately really, really usable. The Tag and Bink would be so usable because they'd have to have every single era as a tag. They'd have to be old because they've had a comic book strip in the Old Republic. And it would have to be Rebellion, and it would have to be they'd have like all of them. It would be
they would just get neutral. That's all you get.
They would have to get They would have to get neutral. Yeah, they would have to get neutral. And then just make them work as a tandem, like Biggs and Wedge, or Baze and Malbus. That kind of thing.
Well, maybe the Apple Store will spoil some of the new ones coming again, because I mean. What was it? The second character, when the second character got released, the Apple Store said it was Mara Jade. Was that it?
Mara Jade. Yeah, Mara Jade was leaked by by someone in corporate.
Yeah. Well, they gave it to the Apple Store. The Apple Store put it up.
Yeah, because when I found that out, that was when I started my crazy hoard, so that I could simp on her the day that she got released,
and you did.
And then I did. I got the 330, and then I took her straight to Relic 5.
I need to know what
offense to 10,000 and no speed to 330.
I don't want, as much as I want to. I don't want to stream Hondo because I don't want to be disappointed that I don't get 330 like you did, Nev.
Yeah, well, it was the first and only time I ever did it, and it worked like a charm. So, the RNG gods were smiling on me. They knew how much, Mara knew how much I was going to simp on her. So she was like, yeah, you know what? I'm dropping 330 on this dude.
I've already gotten my I think it happens once an account. I've already gotten my 330, and that was for the B1 battle droid.
All right. Okay. So you get it once. Twice is just being greedy with the, that's just being greedy with the RNG gods. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's going to be nothing but this type of exactly like the speculation that occurred back when we got the Dash Rendar reveal, and we got that little video of him on top. And we knew about that. And then, Kyle Katarn, and then the Darth Talon reveal as well. That was really, really good. I mean, don't get me wrong. We didn't get the Darth Talon we wanted, but we did get the Darth Talon that we deserved, So, So
what was it you wanted from her?
Well, wanted the proper legacy,
the proper attire,
the proper legacy, the proper attire from the legacy comic books, That's what.
Well, she was IDW. She was IDW, right? Or no, she was Dark Horse Comics.
No, she was Dark Horse. She was Dark Horse.
And if you know Dark Horse Comics and their penchant for drawing the female body,
very, very hot. I mean, they drew Mara Jade extremely hot. That red hair, and when she ignites that purple lightsaber, you're just like, just kill me, just it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer all over again. It's like, please, just come and kick my ass. That would be awesome.
I want you to gather comic book characters, or rather a list of neutral characters that you believe that it could be.
Okay.
So we can do what we did to Crumb when we did the last puzzle interview.
Oh, I've just thought of a good one as well.
Well, write it down.
I've just thought of a good one as well.
Make sure you put Forlom and Zuckuss in there because, I'm going to throw Dirge in the mix. That's another great bounty hunter.
Help me. Tilo's going to help as well.
Can you put Teak in there for me?
Yeah, the comic books. Yeah. Oh, I'm just trying to think. What was the name of that damn royal guard that killed Kirkanos? Oh, I can't remember his name.
But Senna Staros, also known as Sana Solo, posing as Han's wife.
Hold on, think about this though. Ewok movies. Teak. The white thing that would go real fast and run around. I'm just kidding. But GL
I think
Teak,
I need
please.
to pull the I think I might need to pull the plug on Bob here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm out, guys.
So games as well. Don't forget video games as well. Don't forget.
Yeah. So we got
Cal
Kestis.
Yeah.
We got this is going to be fun. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when they did this whole legacy event for Starkiller, that was the last time that the community was extremely happy with the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, it
the
was
temperature,
a good event.
if you will.
It was a good event. It was, yes, the reality was, it was a fun but quick and easy event based purely on the fact that you got 4 characters to Relic 5. But you get an awesome character at the end of it that's very, very, very expensive gear-wise. I mean, I saved up for my Starkiller because I only had like 2 GL, so I thought I'm going to make him a GL by putting all 3 Omicrons on him at the same time, which is exactly what they did. So they could do something like that with they could do. You've got to think about the doubling up. The doubling up factor of each of these 4 legends, because you could put all 5 of them together if you wanted to, but they were made specific to help certain so Darth Talon helps either Treyer or Darth Revan, right?
What you got, Bob?
On that sifting, yeah.
What were we gonna say, Bob?
Oh, I was just gonna say Darth Revan. I was going to help him out there.
And then you've got Kyle Katarn, great with Mon Mothma, or other rebels, because it's both Jedi and Rebel, which is great. Rebel fighter. Then Mara Jade. Don't need to say anything. That's it. Just Mara. That's it. All I need to say is that. And then Carvanas, and he was great with Scoundrels. Great with the prepared team. Great Omicron. I mean, I've got 20 at the moment, and I'm just debating. I'm waiting for 3v3 to be over. I'm trying to think of a team to put
Hondo.
that 20. Huh?
Put it on Hondo.
Does Hondo have one? Does he?
Hondo has an Omicron. Remember, it's GAC Omicron.
Yeah, but I don't have any. I don't really have. I'll have to see. I'll have to see who gets him and how he works, because I'm probably don't have the relic characters to fit around him to use him good enough. But we'll see. We'll see. A lot of people liking my beanie tonight.
Yes.
4-Strung like my beanie. And Tilo like my beanie.
You have an Imperial beanie. What you got, Bob?
Oh, I'm just saying beanies are cool. That's all I had to say.
You've got this really weird red one that I saw you programming.
Yep. The greatest beanie ever. Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, man. I can't claim greatest for the Browns, so,
It's all right. We're accepting, fans anytime.
Oh, so the bandwagon's accepting people to jump on?
Hey, man.
Especially after the drubbing you gave Tampa Bay last night.
The dude's the savior.
All right. Neil, what,
Yes.
if you had to pick one character to come in this group, who is it?
Yeah, I'd have to have a think about it. I really would need to have a genuine think about it. I like to put, that you remember, if you remember that list that I put together, the last time we had Legends, I had a list of 20, and I kind of
and we threw them at Crumb and we watched
I went through them all with Crumb and tried to, see how.
And you were right.
I was right. I mean, obviously I picked, I cast a wide net, but I got them right, which I was kind of, chuffed.
You got the ones right when you thought when you went back and looked at it.
Yeah, I got Darth Talon. Darth Talon was in the list. Mara was in the list, and Kyle Katarn was in this. I didn't have Dash Rendar in my list though. That list of 20 that I had, Dash Rendar wasn't in the list. It was just 3 out of the 4.
Our longest tier 2 subscriber and very, very dear friend of the show, Llama, just popped in to say hi. Hello, Llama. Good to see you,
Llama.
sir.
Hello, Governor. So yeah, that's where we are with that.
So, all right, what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a break. Thad has story time with Uncle Thad. He's excited to finally talk about Hondo, and then we're gonna do a replay of the reveal interview. So you're going to see the clues, you'll be able to watch for the clues this time around for, all the little glowing bits. But you guys get to see literally the first time I laid eyes on the kit for Hondo Ohnaka. It was fun to do. And thank you for being there, Neil. So, all right, guys, we'll be right back after these messages with a replay. And then we'll be back after that with Patreon's Choice. Get those questions in right after these messages right here on the Escape Pod cast.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with additional features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or Territory Wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Back to school. The Escape Pod, cast for kids. It's really cool.
Hello there, Podawans, and welcome back to another episode of Storytime with Uncle Thad. Today, it is my pleasure, nay, my honor, to present to you a character who needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. If you thought Jabba the Hutt was notorious, you have clearly never met Hondo Ohnaka, pirate king, smuggler, scoundrel, and business magnate. If time allowed, I could tell you so many stories about the great Hondo, and many of them would be true. But with time being what it is, how about I go ahead and introduce you to the galaxy's greatest personality, Hondo Ohnaka, and together we can figure out exactly where in canon he fits. Hondo is a male Weequay pirate who operated throughout the galaxy. His career began before the Galactic Civil War and ended well after the eventual overthrow of the Empire, if you can even say that his career ended, because technically it hasn't yet. Hondo Ohnaka was a well-established pirate king in the Outer Rim when the Confederacy of Independent Systems split from the Galactic Republic. Operating on the planet Florum, Hondo's first act on the intergalactic stage was during his capture of none other than Count freaking Dooku. That's right, Darth Tyrannus himself. Instead of ransoming his prisoner to the Confederacy, Hondo called the Republic. So Palpatine sent General Kenobi and Skywalker to collect Dooku and pay the ransom. Now, during the negotiation, Hondo then drugged and kidnapped Kenobi and Skywalker and intended them to ransom them to the Separatists. I mean, it was like Hondo's mama used to say, son, if one hostage is good, two are better, and three, well, that's just good business. But because of an internal power struggle in the Ohnaka gang, and with some help from a specific Gungan who tends to ruin everything, Ohnaka eventually released Kenobi and Skywalker. While the two Jedi wouldn't hold a grudge against the humble pirate, Dooku was not so kind. After his inevitable escape, Dooku sent his murder droid, General Grievous, to remove the Ohnaka gang from Florum, but Hondo would have none of it. He repelled the murder droid, and he kept the planet for himself. Now, whether on purpose or not, Hondo kind of made a habit of interacting with some pretty famous and infamous people of the galaxy. For a brief time, he and the bounty hunter Aura Singh were involved romantically, and honestly, could you blame her? Look at his jawline, so sharp and pointy, much like his wit. Hondo was also close friends with the bounty hunter Jango Fett, and even guided his son and clone Boba during his more formidable years. He had an on-again, off-again working relationship with Ahsoka Tano, first during the Galactic Republic, and eventually during her time with the Phoenix crew and Ezra Bridger. He fought against the brothers Maul and Savage Opress, who first tried to hire the Ohnaka gang, and eventually tried to take them over. Obviously, it didn't go well for Maul and Opress. For Hondo, it was fine. He even had continuous run-ins with noted smuggler Han Solo and his hetero life partner, Chewbacca. Currently, Hondo Ohnaka operates in the Outer Rim on the planet Batuu, where his most recent business venture, Ohnaka Transport Solutions, uses the Millennium Falcon to transport various materials of sometimes questionable ownership. Now, that's only a small portion of Hondo's ongoing story. If we had more time, we could go into more depth, but let's go ahead and take a look at Hondo's kit in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Hondo Ohnaka is a scoundrel, smuggler, and the first character with a neutral tag. This is huge, and probably going to make him incredibly important and useful in the upcoming territory battle. And this makes sense. As I mentioned earlier, Hondo worked with both light and dark side people throughout the galaxy. Sure, he was a pirate, but he was a pirate with a heart of gold because he stole a heart of gold from a Hutt ones who tried to double cross him. It was messy. His basic ability, let's face it, Hondo is all about the Benjamins, or at least the space equivalent. His basic ability allows him to gain stacks of ransom, which makes him healthier, more tenacious, and it also allows him to negotiate the course of the battle by manipulating his and his opponent's turn meter. His first special ability is dope. It's like part Mon Mothma, part Thrawn. Hondo continues to manipulate turn meter, and he gains the ability of Captive. Now, this sets an enemy's speed to 0 for 2 turns. But like most of Hondo's captives, they can escape. He also gains a new ability called Outmaneuver, which means he can't be targeted for 2 turns. I mean, this Pirate King knows how to work it. Hondo's second special ability allows him to dispel debuffs on scoundrels, call an ally to assist, provides defense up, provides 2% offense per stack of ransom, and potentially increases cooldowns of all enemies. I mean, insane. Ohnaka's first unique ability really speaks to his character. It gives him more stacks of ransom, which is, what he's all about. It gives him a whole heap of other abilities. But what's really cool about this ability is that if an enemy with the captive debuff is defeated and Hondo doesn't have at least 10 stacks of ransom, he's out. He's gone. He leaves the battle. And this is so totally Hondo. If his payout isn't big enough, he's gone. He leaves, right? Now, Hondo's final ability is just, it's amazing. He gets turn meter when anyone else does, because he's Hondo. When any other character gains a buff, he gets protection because he's Hondo. When other characters assist, he gains protection up, stacking because he's Hondo. And if he's the last character on the field of battle, he becomes a total bad A. Why? Because he's Hondo freaking Ohnaka. Now, normally, I would end this whole thing by saying, well, that's it for me, folks. But when it comes to Hondo Ohnaka, this is just the beginning. So stay tuned next week for more story time with Uncle Thad on the Escape Podcast for Kids. Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I approve this message and am compensated for signups for this service.
The world's largest audiobook library is at your fingertips, and the Escape Pod Castaways wants you to try it for free. Head on over to escapepodcastaways.com and click the Going Nerdy offer button to claim a free audiobook and 2 Audible originals. Cancel anytime, and it's absolutely free to sign up. Check out Audible and support the Escape Pod Castaways. all for free. See Audible website for details. Restrictions may apply.
Hey there, listeners. Merchandise specialist Critty K here. Do you enjoy the Escape Pod and want to support the channel and get something a little extra for yourself as well? Head on over to tpublic.com/user/theescapepodcast and grab a Team Neil, Team Paul, Critty Play, or many other fun Padawan designs on your choice of shirt, cup, sticker, mask, or even a magnet. And be sure to check out the Mrs. Anthony Shirts channel on the Escape Podcast Discord and get the latest info on the other designs I make as well. Sometimes there's even a sale going on, so it is smart to stop on by. Thank you for supporting the Escape Podcast.
Attention, we are receiving an incoming transmission. Attention. Attention. We are receiving an incoming transmission.
So we're gonna get you guys on camera here, just going like, "Oh man, why did you bring Jar Jar to the game?"
I would love that.
It's gonna be just disappointment on your faces, just being like, God.
You know what?
Guy.
I'm gonna leave that in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the exclusive puzzle interview. You guys have done it. You know, I mean, it's finally time to say I solved Crumb's puzzle, and all we got was this lousy Escape Podcast interview. I think there was a T-shirt involved or something, Crumb.
Yeah, someone got a T-shirt. I don't know who.
I'm really excited that we get to be the
this is the payoff.
This is the payoff. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's definitely nothing beyond this. This is the end. There's really nothing else to see.
End, my friend. Yeah, nothing more to see. Move along.
Move along.
Yeah. Let's first. When there is a puzzle, we like to have you on and to talk about the puzzle. So, I mean, what was going through your mind when doing this entire, I love looking at your timeline, at your plan.
The murder board of all the different lines going everywhere. It looks like a crazy person. Yeah.
How did this come to be? You showed us the one last time, and it was just crazy. But this time, you seem to possibly have outdone yourself.
Wow. We'll see. Yeah. Let's see what the people think. But I mean, this one, my goal with all these puzzles is to try and make sure like everyone can kind of collaborate on this, right? Like I don't want it to be like one single person can solve these things and everyone just kind of watches, right? So this one in particular, I took some of the favorites that we've done in the past a little bit and kind of did some interesting little tweaks on them. But there's, that third step I think is a real doozy and really required some teamwork from the entire community. So I hope you guys see that like that's like, everyone can participate, everyone can have some fun in this, even if you're not someone who can do crazy math or electronics, and then reprogram an Arduino, you can always participate and have fun in these things. But I'm surprised we got here because every time I make these puzzles, I go like, there's no way anyone solves this, right? And there's like a fine line between like impossible and like just hard enough that like the 500 or so people who smash their head against this thing actually then like just get enough difficulty to push them over the edge. But there was I've been building this one for a long time. I wanted to do this but I had to go on family leave for a bit, but have to. I mean, I got to go on family leave, I should say. For a very great moment in my life. But I've been thinking about this one for a long time. And it's in that there's just been a lot of different pieces of it that I've had to sort of put together like slowly. And it's just like, this one has taken me longer than any of the other ones to put together. And I worry that like we are reaching a crescendo here where it's like, cool, it's going to take me 2 years to build this for these guys. And you still solve it within like 16 hours or 13. What was the last one where you had to fly around the planet and all of a sudden you guys did that in 4 hours? Like, my God, man, like what else can I do here?
You sent somebody out into the middle of nowhere in Texas.
The clue on the post. The clue on the post in the middle of nowhere was a very nice touch, I thought.
Hey, thanks, Josh, for helping me put that out there. I really appreciate that. He is my buddy who lives nearby, who just is like, hey, do you know any places that I could put this up? And they would have to drive at least like 20 minutes on a gravel dirt road to get there. And he said, I got the spot. Don't worry. And he did not disappoint.
And he was back there playing the banjo as people pulled up.
Yeah. Honestly, so he went back to take it down to make sure, like, we didn't want to leave trash up there or whatever. And I think he missed the person who grabbed it, because there was someone who actually grabbed the actual post and then brought it back with them. He must have missed them by like 5 minutes, because I saw it on Discord that they were grabbing it and doing that stuff. And then my buddy texts me. He's like, hey, I'm going back. I'm almost there. I'm about to go pick it up again. And it wasn't there when he got back. So like they must have crossed each other on the road or something there, I swear.
Yeah, we asked him to take it down because in case he put something on the back of that paper.
Yeah. Which is like, I think it was like some like Amazon delivery order on the back of it or something. It was like nothing. Oh no, nothing of interest.
Well, the way that you did it, you sent it to him via Amazon photo print.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And that's why. Yeah.
So you know, it's like you start diving into like what are the options here, like what are the things he could mess with or I could mess with, and then you know you get into these like really crazy spaces where you're like anything could be part of this puzzle, every part of it could be there, but it's like, you know, sometimes it's just a shipping label, you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Jeff Bezos sponsored that puzzle for you.
Yeah, thanks Jeff, appreciate it, my man.
And Nev, what questions do you have about this whole puzzle that we just went through?
When are you going to do something like, you know, see, I think you should throw a spanner in the works or a wrench in the works, whatever you call it, like the next time. So make the clues stupidly easy. Mm-hmm. So like throw everyone off. It's like, no, it can't be this. This is too easy. This is not crumb. Yeah, and then people will start looking beyond. It's like, well, maybe the answer is within the answer, you know, because it can't just be, you know, it'd be like, you know, a box with 1, 2, 4, and it's like, what's the next number that goes in there? Everyone's like, it can't just be. Hey,
you know, subverting expectations is a very key part of this whole thing, you know. And,
you know, everybody's subverting expectations. Apparently, you know, it's a good thing. You know, it's doing the rounds at the moment.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was in the last one when they were looking at the Dash Rendar video that we had those like clips of him on the train and everything. And then there's like little lights in the background that, you know, the art team did this awesome job of recreating the train scene from N64 and all this stuff. And everyone was just like, is there something in the lights? Are the lights doing something weird? Is there a pattern there that we need to see? And they were really breaking it down frame by frame. There's been a couple. There was two in past puzzles. There's two things that I'm sad folks missed. Where I set up like there's an obvious way to solve this puzzle, and then there's the right way to solve it. And if you solved it the wrong way, you went off on a different path. It wasn't like a long red herring path, but it would get to like a picture being like, hey guys, nice try. You went the wrong way. Go back.
Oh, I remember that.
2 steps.
I remember that happened.
So one of them was found. One of them was never found. That I thought like, oh, this is obvious. They'll go this direction. And it just like never happened, which is like, it's, you know, solving a puzzle is such like an interesting like exercise where it's like people can go so many different directions, and you want to like support people like thinking outside the box and solving them in different ways. And so when you solve something like the smart way, you sometimes miss the obvious way. And there was a couple like funny little jokes that I added in there if you went the wrong way that got missed. But I think it was the Jedi Knight Revan one where you typed in the URL link wrong, which was like the way it was displayed originally, and it went to like no, not quite right.
Not the magic word.
I didn't say the magic word. So, but we got some exciting stuff to talk about today, right? Like, what are we doing?
You called us here. I mean,
that's right. I called this meeting. Oh, right, sorry.
You said push record. Let's talk about the puzzle. I mean, getting to this point, it really is truly a labor of love, isn't it?
Oh, I am continuously impressed by everyone who can, you know, like get to this point and enjoy the ride, for along this whole way, because it's a lot of fun to build these things. It's like the best thing for me, and I know tons of people in the studio also watch like just the community rallying behind this things. It's like one of the most like heartwarming aspects of this entire community, how much like people unify behind different things. This could be for Mini, for charity stuff, but also just for the heck of it and for fun to do some crazy puzzles that some moron thought up over the course of a couple months and to put together for you guys. So it's truly like a great experience that like I don't know how you would replicate this anywhere else. Like this community is just the best, and it's so cool that we can all do this together. And I truly see this as us together, like having this conversation. It is not just like, hey, I'm a genius and you're solving my crazy puzzle. Like I am not smart enough to solve these puzzles to start with. I can create them, and it's a very different skill set than you guys solving them. So shout out to everyone who's put in the hard work, because there's a lot of guys in that Discord and girls in there who've been doing some serious work to solve these things. So
do you ever feel like the Riddler?
a little bit. There's been some moments where I thought of putting on like a skin tight green jumpsuit with some question marks on it and jumping around, but I've resisted those urges.
Neil, what you
it's
got?
time for all that hard work the community put in to receive its payout.
Yes, of course. So I wanted to show you guys a really cool unit that we're about to introduce in the coming weeks, right, as a matter of fact. So
I haven't clicked it yet.
You haven't seen this before. I've just sent you guys a kit, and I know it's not what you guys think. It's not what the one you guys are going to think it is, but I thought this was a really cool thing to share with you guys. Right. And it's good payoff to find as you finally got to the end of this puzzle for realsies, for sure.
I am clicking it now.
Yes.
I told you it was Java related. It's like kind of Java related in one way.
I'm just reading through it at the moment.
I haven't even read it yet. Oh my god.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, obviously, so let's talk through. Can I talk through?
Okay, hold on.
Hold on. Okay,
so let me. We haven't said it yet. Oh,
right, yeah, we haven't said the words.
Right here is going to be the image that you send me. Let's hit it.
There you go.
There you go. It's finally been announced. It's finally happening.
It's finally been announced.
The years of standing outside the CG office with a boombox and a sign saying it's been so many X number of days since this character has not come to the game.
Oh my gosh! It is finally time, ladies and gentlemen. Hondo freaking Ohnaka.
So I tried to obfuscate it from you guys a little bit, be like, oh, it's not how you think it is. Trust me, it's not how you think it is. But I you had to know. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Let's read.
Oh my gosh.
So unit. Let's talk about the unit information. Okay, so obviously in-game name is Hondo Ohnaka. Unit ID is Hondo. Initial star
that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's going to be 2 star. So
it's a marquee. Yeah,
it is a marquee character.
Alignment is neutral.
Okay.
So he's going to be able to play, for both teams, which is, what he does anyway.
It has to be for Hondo, right? Like he's this kid, I feel like, is super on brand for Hondo, where it's like, just plays the middle of the road. We'll go each direction, just wherever the best money is. And the first neutral character though. So
this is our first ever neutral character.
We thought it was going to be, like T3M4 and a couple other characters we thought about doing, but this is the legit first neutral character.
So mode specific utility is Grand Arena.
So you're going to go after him, Neil?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
So he is a support. He is a scoundrel, and damn right, he is a smuggler.
I mean, he couldn't not be, like if there's ever someone for a candidate to get the smuggler tag in this game, it's got to be Hondo, right? I mean,
all right. So he does not have a ship as of yet.
No flying saucer.
But
it's just him as a character.
but his relic is a pile of credits, as it should be. All right.
What else could he ever have, as a relic, right? Oh, okay. But like, what does he truly love? Does he love Melchi or does he love credits?
He truly loves Melchi. I mean, seriously.
Okay,
come on.
Yeah.
About the only thing he does care about other than money.
All right.
Yeah,
so
okay, let's move on to the abilities.
Yeah. So this is just for everybody. This is in the works. This is work in progress. So things may change by the time that he is fully released. Things may change tomorrow before he's released. But this is the gist. This is the intended kit.
I'd say we're pretty locked in on the mechanics. Like this character's, going through testing and stuff like that right now, and it's like almost completely done. So you might see some tweaks to the numbers here, but we talk about the mechanics. All those mechanics are pretty locked in here. So we could talk to those definitely at a high level, and most of the numbers should be correct. But who knows? Maybe we find something in the midst of this that's like, oh my god, he destroys all GLs, and we didn't want that to happen or something. So
I mean, he's Hondo.
One of the few men who's bested many a Grandmaster,
exactly,
Jedi and Sith.
Exactly.
He always weasels his way out of things.
Yeah, I mean, he's captured Dooku, he captured Kenobi, he captured Anakin. I mean, there's few people in this universe who have messed with that high level of a Force user and won. And survived.
Yes,
survived. Yeah.
All right. So basic is I Smell Profit. Deals special damage to a target enemy and gains 1 stack of ransom, which you can have up to 50 of for the rest of the encounter, and it cannot be copied or dispelled.
Yeah, so he's getting ransom, right? Obviously, he's playing both the sides here, but the big thing is he's got to make money off this thing, and you'll see kind of later in the kit like why ransom becomes important. But he gets a lot of value out of the stacks of ransom besides just getting the max health and tenacity. He's got some other like unique that also gives him some boost based off that. But of course, like he's here for the money. He's here to ransom someone, so he's got to make sure he's getting his cut. And I think the interesting part of this, because he is neutral, a lot of his abilities do different things depending on who he's targeting or who are his allies, right? So if it's a light side ally or a dark side ally, they get kind of different bonuses or different, debuffs or, effects essentially, depending on which side he happens to be playing at that given moment.
Yeah, exactly as it says in the final text. So if the enemy is light side, Hondo removes 10% turn meter from the light side enemy. If the enemy is dark side, Hondo instead gains 10% turn meter.
Yeah.
So I do want to ask here because of the neutral tag, are we going to be able to use Hondo in either light side or dark side territory battles? Is that a possibility, or is he going to be stuck out on his own waiting for the new territory battle?
No, he's kind of like a plug and play character a little bit, right? Like he can kind of go in with a lot of different teams. And like while he is a scoundrel and we'll see like some direct sort of scoundrel call outs in his kit, he's kind of like plays whatever, right? Like again, speaking to Hondo as a character, right? He's not restricted to what squad he's running with.
Has he been specifically created to be a light side, dark side utility player then?
Yeah, you can see him as like a utility.
He's plug and play, so you can plug and play him into multiple different light side and dark side squads.
Absolutely,
and he'll be able to dish some. Yeah, okay.
He'll do lots of different stuff depending on what kind of squad he's in, and I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 call outs to like scoundrels or smugglers specifically, but it's like a pretty small part of his kit. Like the vast majority of his kit kind of like works with whatever squad you're throwing him in, and he kind of like. Just kind of does his own thing as well. So it's not like he's, not synergizing with the squad, but he's also like not taking away from like the synergies that are out there already. Definitely can go into a wide variety of squads and be very effective. And so we'll see in like his first special ability. There's some parallels to some of the other, say, plug and play characters that have been in this game for a while. But yeah, so basically, his basic, I Smell Profit. gets the stacks of ransom, messes with the turn meter depending on what side he's on or what side he's facing, and then that ransom stuff will come back. So just remember ransom off the basic ability.
All right. So now let's move on to the first special. He has more than one special, which is nice. Special number 1, I don't want to kill you per se. Great quote. Great quote.
I think every single one of his business, every one of his quotes are every one of his abilities are quotes from him specifically. So
it is a cooldown of 6. It is right now unlocking at gear 6, and its initial description is simply remove 2% turn meter from all enemies. So it's just a turn meter stripper at first.
Yeah. Once you get it fully upgraded, it obviously does a lot more than that. But yeah.
Oh yes, and here it is. Final text. Hondo gains outmaneuver for 2 turns, which can't be copied.
First off, he removes turn meter from all enemies.
He removes 20% turn meter. Yes.
Yeah. Again, numbers subject to change, but yeah, somewhere around there.
Removes turn meter from all enemies, and he gains outmaneuver, which can't be copied. Inflict captive on the target enemy, but it can't be a galactic legend. Captive cannot be copied, dispelled, or evaded, prevented, or resisted. This is happening. This is happening no matter what.
Someone, for sure. There's not a lot of way around it.
All right. And until the start of Hondo's second turn, enemies gain 25 buffs. Or Hondo is defeated. So all 3 of those.
Yeah. Or it will last until one of those 3 triggers happen. Either Hondo's second turn he takes after that, or enemies gain 25 buffs, or Hondo's defeated. So there's a way that the team can rescue this captive, right? If they get enough buffs and they try and do this, or they defeat Hondo, then they can get their captive back. But if when the captive expires, he gains 10 stacks of ransom, which is really critical for in the unique later, because Hondo's only around as long as there's profit to be had. The second there isn't profit to be had, he's out of here. And we'll get to that in a second. But anyway,
a captive's speed.
What's it says Hondo gains outmaneuver for 2 turns. What's outmaneuver again?
Outmaneuver is the ability that the Falcon has, which is I think it works really thematically for Hondo that he's unable to be targeted.
The outmaneuver, so he can't be targeted.
No, he's hanging out in the background, letting all of his buddies do the work. Hondo's not here to put himself in danger. Hondo's here to make money.
6 is a bit steep, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
25% evasion, cannot be countered, and cannot be targeted if other allies are present unless they are taunting.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to want to open up with this to protect Hondo. His special.
Oh my god, the captive on the raid boss. He's bonkers.
We will get to that.
Got to capture that Rancor, but so I mean, obviously ransom and captive are very the core components of this kit, and there's. I don't think we said what captive does. Did we say what captive does yet?
Captive to 0, can't bonus attack or gain bonus turn meter.
Yeah, so he's they're stuck, right? They are, similar to something like fracture kind of thing. Get another plug and play character here. They are basically stuck behind Hondo. Can't really do much. Can't attack. Can't get out of it until, one of those 3 conditions happen, essentially.
Yeah, and then he'll gain the 10 stacks of ransom.
The outmaneuver part. I do like the outmaneuver part.
It's thematically very different from why the Falcon would gain outmaneuver versus why Hondo would gain outmaneuver. But mechanically, it fits Hondo so well, right? That he's unable to be dealt with. He's just moving the pieces around. But if it's down to him, you're going to have to deal with Hondo one-on-one.
Yeah.
And there's some other bonuses for Hondo's the last man standing. He gets some pretty beefy bonuses as well.
Well, so you mentioned Nev, the captive on raid bosses, the minus 30% critical damage, defense, and offense. So it tames a raid boss for a little bit.
Yeah, it does some real work on a raid boss as well. It's not quite setting their speed to 0 and shutting down a character entirely, but he still will be useful, I think, during raids as well.
All right, let's. Why don't we move on to Special 2? What do you say?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Special 2 is Insolence. We are pirates. Unlocks at gear 4. Description. Initial description is call target ally to attack, and then Hondo assists. So, but it gets a lot. With a cooldown of 4, it gets a lot of different stuff that you add to it. Dispel all debuffs on. This is final text. Dispel all debuffs on scoundrels. Then call the target ally to assist, and then Hondo assists. And then if the target ally is light side, that ally gains 25% damage and defense penetration, Neil. You love that, for the attack. And if the target ally is dark side, they gain 25% critical chance and crit damage for the attack. And then, but wait, there's more. Hondo gains defense up for 2 turns and plus 2% offense per stack of ransom for the rest of the encounter. Does that stack, or is that whenever he uses it, the ransom amount is what he'll get? So if he has the maximum 50 stacks of ransom, it goes to 100, or is it if he's at 50%?
It keeps growing over time. Every time you use this, you're going to get more and more offense.
So this is like Nest, where it will stack upon itself.
Yeah, he'll keep getting more of those bonuses. Like if you use it once and you have like 5 stacks, and then you use it later, you get 10 stacks, and you get the combined value of those. The 5 will go on top of the 5 will go on top of the 10 bonus.
Well,
because it says, if you look under the final text, it says if Hondo has at least 5 stacks of ransom, dark side enemies are inflicted with ability block for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted, and light side enemies are inflicted with buff immunity for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. And it also says if Hondo has at least 25 stacks of ransom, increase cooldowns of all enemies by 1. So obviously this is. I mean, yes, it says the final text, but you could tweak that and throw some extra stuff in there. Like that special does something if he's at 50 stacks or if he's at 100 stacks.
So well, he can only go up to 50. Yeah.
50. Something if he hits the 50 stacks.
What?
It'd be nice if there was something there for the 50 stacks. Milchi goes mad.
Does the increased cooldowns of all enemies by 1 affect Galactic Legends? Can you delay Kylo from going ultimate?
I don't believe it's restricted to non-Galactic Legend units. It should be able to affect them, but I have to double check if that's, again, that could be in balance changes again, but I right now it does not.
All right. So subject to change. All right. Here we go. Uniques. That's just good business. It is your Omicron, and it also has a Zeta. Both. So it is initially unlocked. Let's see if I'm going to make sure that I've got, okay, final text. Here we go.
Yeah, just dive into the final text. Upgrade stuff.
Hondo has 100% health steal. Whenever he evades an attack, he gains a stack of ransom. If a captive enemy is defeated and Hondo does not have at least 10 stacks of 10 stacks of ransom, Hondo will flee. No.
Yeah, he's got to get his money. If his captive goes away and he gets killed too early, it's like the money's not there for Hondo. He's out.
Oh man.
But there's a couple ways you get those 10 stacks of ransom. Obviously, there's the unique that says whenever he evades, he gets 1. The basic gets him a stack of ransom, which he's got a lot of ways to assist himself and to call himself to assist. So he's gonna stack up multiple stacks of ransom pretty quickly. And then also again, once the captive expires, he gains stack of ransom. So as long as you do the captive thing and you let that expire, he will have his 10 stacks. He will not flee. But if you do not let that happen, Hondo's out. Hondo's there for Hondo.
Does he still clock up the stacks of ransom even if he's got buff immunity on him?
I believe it says he can't. It's like a status effect. It's not a buff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Oh, Hondo also gains bonuses based on the amount of stacks of ransom. Once he has 5, add exposed to the target enemy for 1 turn and gain foresight for 1 turn when he uses his basic. Once he has 10, Hondo cannot be critically hit. At 15, Hondo recovers 25% health at the start of his turn. At 20, he recovers 25% protection. He's self-healing. That is great. If there's an enemy with the captive debuff, then at the start of his turn, Hondo gains 10% critical chance, damage, and defense penetration, stacking to a maximum of 100%. Then he gains 3 speed, which he can do 10 times for the rest of the encounter. So a maximum stack of getting extra 30 speed. Now here's your Grand Arena, Neil. He starts the encounter with 25% turn meter per other scoundrel or smuggler ally. If there's an enemy with the captive debuff at the start of his turn, Hondo also gains an additional 10% per turn, max of 200 and 3 speed, stacking to 60. So it can go up to, it goes 10 times, but it's doubled in Grand Arena.
Yeah, but doubled in Grand Arena, essentially. So, yeah, I mean, so there is value, obviously, beyond getting the 20 stacks, because he gets, the additional max health and tenacity. But like, we didn't want to say like you have to get 50 to get the full payout. You do get some extra value from that. But once you get to 20 stacks, you've been charging up this character for some time, and you'll have some serious firepower at that point, and he's going to have a lot of survivability. As you said, he's got immunity to critical hits. He's got that extra health and protection recovery each turn. He's going to be pretty hard to deal with if you kind of let him start snowballing by himself.
There you go.
More of an attacker than supporter.
Yeah. He's a
supporting attacker.
He's supporting people with firepower. He's
definitely.
We're pirates. We don't know what that means.
Yeah, he's he has some support abilities with like dispels and things like that, and he can obviously like mess with the enemy team with captive and all the other ability block and buff immunity, all that kind of stuff. So he has a lot of the support like trappings of a character, but that's not to say he doesn't hit hard. Hondo will still hit pretty hard. He's not messing around. He's not going to be only does abilities and slows people down. He's still going to bring his share to the fight for sure.
Cool. Okay. Last unique.
Well, the last unique is, I guess we won't be friends. Final text of this. Whenever any character gains bonus turn meter, Hondo gains 5% bonus turn meter once per round. Whenever any character gains a buff, Hondo recovers 5% protection. And this is, by the way, any character. This doesn't matter.
Say, friend or foe, any character does this.
Yep. Whenever any character assists, Hondo gains 5% protection up, stacking, no limit, for one turn.
One turn, so until he takes his next turn.
If Hondo had at least 2 other allies at the start of the encounter and is the only character remaining on his side of the field, Hondo gains 100% turn meter and 35% counter chance, defense, evasion, offense, potency, and tenacity for the rest of the encounter. So if
Hondo's the last man standing, right?
He immediately goes next.
He's going, right? So this is like, kind of paying homage to like, oftentimes all of Hondo's buddies have kind of been, we'll say taken care of, or you may just fallen along the wayside as they on the way to their payout. So as long as Hondo had a squad with him at the start, and then they've all kind of fallen away, Hondo is taking a turn and he's starting to hit hard, right? Like, or not starting to hit hard. He's continuing to hit real hard. And so, yeah, again, kind of like, when Hondo's the last man standing, you still got to deal with Hondo, and Hondo's not to be messed with on his own either.
As he can hold his own. Exactly.
He definitely can hold his own for sure.
Okay. So, I mean, I think this is me speaking. I think you've done him justice. And I'm finally glad that he's on his way.
He's got kind of some unique abilities to kind of we really wanted to lean into the character of Hondo, because he's just like such a big personality, right? And he's one of my personal favorite characters in the Star Wars universe, right? Because he's just such a big person in this universe, and he's kind of like touched every part of it as well. He's kind of been around for so long. He's seen a lot inside this galaxy. And so, yeah, we're just trying to play up it to him being this, kind of neutral-ish scoundrel who's kind of doing whatever he wants, but then, he's going to start taking hostages and asking for ransom at any given moment, depending on whose team he's on. And so again, and if Hondo's not feeling the profits, he's just out of there, like he's no qualms of just like getting out and leaving his allies to deal with the rest of it if the money's dried up.
How long have you been sitting on this?
It's been a while. We've been thinking about Hondo for quite some time. But like, when is the right moment to introduce Hondo, and how does it fit into the larger set of things that are going on in the game? We've been working on this kit for some time, and I know when you guys talked to us at Celebration, and you brought us a lovely sign at this year.
Thank you to Geek Girl and her brother.
Yeah, beautiful sign. Of course, like we knew Hondo was coming at that point. We were just like, well, we'll hold on to this sign because eventually we'll be able to hold it up and say, "Hey, we did it! There it is. You can stop counting the days now." I
do have a quick question.
Yeah.
Which era, from an animation point of view, which era are you taking him from? So are you taking him from Rebels? You taking him from Clone Wars? You taking the younger one. Which one are you?
It's the kind of like sort of final form of not final form, but the last form we see of Hondo, right? The kind of older Rebels
of right now.
Yes, well, who knows? Yeah, maybe we'll see Hondo again in the future. I wouldn't rule out seeing Hondo again in the future. Who knows, right?
After all, he is still at Galaxy's Edge, so he's still alive.
He's definitely still alive. So, the picture that you sent us, am I allowed to show the picture that you sent? I mean, that's okay. just for reference here. But we'll give you guys the official art and everything.
Yeah. So when you sent this, when you sent this to us, this that you're seeing over Crumb's face right now is the picture. I mean, it's literally from Galaxy's Edge, somebody in cosplay of Hondo Ohnaka. So, we didn't have the graphics that you saw earlier, but it has finally happened. Oh my gosh.
You're that, Paul. And there's going to be a lot of people happy. There's going to be a lot of people happy with that. I know a bald person that's going to be very happy.
So the reason why we did all this, just so every time I come on your show, you can stop asking me the same dang question every single time I show up. And now next time I come on the show, what are you going to say to me? You're just going to have nothing to. What are we going to close on? It's going to be weird.
So to get what I want, I just have to be relentlessly pursuant to it. Is what you're saying?
Persistence sometimes pays off.
Relentless persistence is that's what you're saying I have to do in order to get what I want. Okay, I will start tomorrow.
No, you'll start I'm sure you'll start at the end of this, Neil.
We'll this is all about payout and reveal and stuff.
He's got to figure out what the next crusade is going to go on here and what journey he's got to really embark on. You got to think about these things. You can't just do it off the cuff. I think it's a really cool kit. It's like a very unique kit. There's some parallels to characters in the game, but I think it like really fits him as a unique character. And I'm really, really excited that we could finally bring out Hondo, because it's one of my favorite characters. And it's something that I've said internally many a times of being like, how are we getting Hondo in this game? People want Hondo. We've seen it from their players. We've seen it from the community that like, this is a character that players love and the Star Wars fan love. So how do we do him justice? How do we bring this character to the game in a way that people go, yeah, that's Hondo. That is classic Hondo right there.
I truly do think that you did that. So, I mean, this has been the best payoff of a Crumb puzzle that I can personally imagine.
I mean, come on. I'm sorry. The Chewy one was still very, very memorable. Come on. The Chewy one.
I mean, it was memorable, but this is the best payoff for me.
And we're involved in this, Neil.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah, I figured when I heard we were finally going to do Hondo, and it was, the kit was being built, and I was like, all right, well, hey, I know who could help me reveal this to the players. There's some people that hold Hondo in a very, very special place in their hearts. So I'm so glad I could share it with you guys, and you guys can help share it with the world, because yeah, I hope we do them justice. I hope players all feel as happy about it as you do, Paul, and folks, that like there is this is something that I know the team has cared about a lot. Like, how do we do it right for this character, and how do we do them in the way that feels very authentically Hondo, So
which developer was in charge of this? Who do I have to thank for this? Because I want to make sure that they get the credit.
Okay. Yeah. What is, I didn't look up I know his actual name. I'm not sure if he's okay with me sharing that. So let me look and see if I can find out what his screen name is.
All right. Well, while you do that, we're going to splash
yet.
Yeah, we're going to splash one more time the synergies and all that information up on the screen right now. And on the other side of this, we'll have the name of the person to thank for this if they want to be credited. So take a look one more time. Synergies and the and all of the abilities as you guys are used to in one quick little package.
HotBot in HotUtils is one of the most comprehensive tools for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
With integration into the super useful mod tool Grand Ivory, HotUtils can help you tackle some of the most difficult aspects of the game.
Not sure how to mod your roster for a certain game mode?
Use one of the many filters that automatically assigns the right mods to the right character in accordance with your guild needs.
Now with the digital features that can assist you and your guild officers in territory battles and territory wars, HotUtils is an amazing value.
And don't forget the useful tools for yourself in Grand Arena, like the in-depth and customizable compare feature.
Got multiple accounts like Neil, but not the time to remod them all?
With this one-stop utility, you can switch between your alts and never miss a mod upgrade or a mod switch before locking into GAC or territory wars.
Starting at just $5 a month, you don't want to miss out on these great tools.
HotUtils is the new official remodding service for the Escape Pod. Cast.
Visit HotUtils.com to learn more. That's HotUtils.com. And go ahead and spice up your Galaxy of Heroes experience.
Podawans, be sure to support the shows brought to you on the Escape Podcast Twitch and YouTube channel by becoming a Patreon. For as little as $2 a month, you can support us and get a little extra for yourself. With tiered rewards including access to Shitty Bill's Arena tracking bot, after-show access, inclusion in the GA Center leaderboards, behind-the-scenes access, and much more. There is something for everyone on our Discord server. Head on over to Patreon, that is patreon.com/The Escape Pod, and sign up today. Thank you for supporting and listening to the Escape Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off hosting the 2022 SWGOH, I present to you the lovable droid with a penchant for calamity,
N00B, the noob.
Thank you. It is good to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the newest and most exciting exhibition of everyday skills, Tatooine's Got Talent. Now, there is no way that someone with a love of money and profiteering would want to miss this. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tatooine's Got Talent. I am your host and judge, Dickie Darkside. Tatooine's Got Talent is a show with simple rules, but big prizes. Basically, you just gotta prove to us that you're the biggest scoundrel in the galaxy, and you get to join us on our crew for the biggest heist ever conceived this side of the Outer Rim. So without further ado, let's get our first scoundrel out here. So we have our first contestant, and it says here his name is, what exactly is your name, sir?
I am Cornholio. My bunghole will speak now.
Alrighty then. Well, it says here your special skill is thievery. What is it that you steal, Mr. Bungholio?
I need TP for my bunghole.
Okay, so you steal TP. Do you have any other special skills that would be useful?
My bunghole, it speaks loud.
And how exactly is that useful?
You can take me, but you will never take my bunghole. For I am the great Cornholio. I have no bunghole.
Look, I know we said we're looking for the biggest scoundrels in the universe, but I meant the Star Wars universe. You're not even in the right IP.
The almighty Bungholio! Bungholio! The almighty Bungholio! Bungholio!
All right, that's enough with you. All right, let's get on to our next contestant. It says here it is Winnie the Pooh? What? I just said we're looking for the Star Wars universe.
Oh, bother. I just don't have a home anymore.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Now that you're part of the public domain, technically you can show up anywhere, like in that horror movie people are making with you. So you could just basically, people can do whatever they want with you. But why do you think you would be right for this crew? You don't seem very, I don't know, scoundrelly.
Yes, so no one has to pay for me anymore. Oh, bother. But Winnie would do anything for his honey. And with no money, gotta get that honey.
So you think you have the stomach for pulling off the biggest job the universe has ever seen?
Do I have the stomach for it? You don't know my stomach. And right now, I would gut Piglet for some honey. It's getting really desperate in here.
I'll be honest with you, Pooh Bear. Look, maybe we can find you some work in the Star Wars universe, you know, maybe a sitcom of Pooh Bear in the Ewok Village, something like that, but I don't think this is the right thing for you. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to move on to the next one.
Listen, you twerp, I'll gut you for some honey right now.
Okay, security, get this guy off the stage. Who do we have next? It says here... Wait, Ohnaka? Seriously? Ohnaka?
Yeah, surprise, it's me.
Oh god, no. Rhonda, we told you to stay on the ship.
Yeah, you left me alone on that ship with that little freak Yarmo. Do you know what he does when you guys aren't around? Or even when you are around, noob, I see you going in there at night, so don't even try to pretend.
Noob just goes in there for his maintenance. I don't know what you're insinuating. Look, what Noob does on his own time and with whom he does it is his own business. What do you even care?
Look, all I know is that if you're having a talent contest, then Rhonda is your girl. I think I did it again. I made you believe that we're more than friends. Oh, baby.
No. Stop that right now.
It's Rhonda Slimo. Just deal with it, okay? Capiche.
And hey, would you look at that? Unfortunately, Rhonda, we're out of time for this episode, so you're going to have to go back to the ship now.
Oh no, Dankferric. Nobody backs Rhonda into a corner.
I need TP for my bunghole.
Oh, look, I can trade you some TP for some honey.
You can take me, but you will never take my bunghole.
Okay, you guys are even weirder than Yarmo.
All right, well, mercifully, this episode is over, folks. Thanks for sticking around this long, and we'll see you next time on Tatooine's Got Talent.
You're listening to the Escape Pod Cast.
And welcome back to the show, ladies and gents. So, yeah, all of that happened, and we were very happy with it.
I can't believe it happened. I still cannot believe it happened. I can't believe it's not butter and that happened. Those are the two things that I can't believe.
Yeah, well, it happened. So yeah.
So I'm going to say this live. This is your last chance right now to donate 100 bits or become a sub, or even a Patreon if you can get it in time to get Neil's RG350 handheld emulator. It does a bunch of games.
Orange and black.
Yeah. So, all right now, people have a 1 in 74 chance, or maybe even 2 or 3, depending on if they're a sub, a Patreon, or if they've donated. So, we'll see where this goes. But until then, let's do some Patreon's Choice.
Yes.
This is part of the segment, or the segment of the show where people ask whatever they want, and we answer whatever they want. Here we go. Number 1, top 3 actors who could potentially pull off a decent Hondo in a live-action movie.
It would depend on the era.
I still think that it would be. I still think that we're possibly getting Christopher Lloyd as Hondo. Would be amazing.
See, the thing is, Christopher Lloyd is an aging actor. And like I said, it depends on what era you're bringing him into. Because what live show would they put him on?
Mando.
Would they put him on Mandalorian, which is 5 years after, so he'd need to be a slightly older? Or are they going to throw him in with Andor at the beginning? It's depending on the era. I would go with someone. What about the voice actor?
Jim Cummings?
Yeah.
Jim Cummings would be Mandalorian era. He is older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could definitely see that. Tilo says Christopher Walken. So I'm Christopher Lloyd. I highly doubt they would even do it, but Hugh Jackman, I believe, wouldn't be.
Oh God, no, that just. I'm sorry, that wouldn't work. It wouldn't. I just don't think it. I don't think it would work.
But then I'm going to spin the coin. The same coin.
Steve Buscemi would work.
Steve Buscemi would work. Hondo almost breaks the fourth wall, so you can go with Ryan Reynolds, who can play anything. I know I'm going big there, but they could do it. They really could. Bone says Johnny
Depp.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God. Can you imagine what Johnny Depp would do to the hand? I don't know. You might not like what Johnny Depp could do to a Hondo. You might not. You might not appreciate it. He might totally change the cat. Look how crazy Jack Sparrow is. He'd probably watch some of the cartoons and they'd be like, right, okay, so it's kind of like Jack Sparrow, but in space.
Buzzsaw is a Patreon as of today, so thank you, Buzzsaw. Who would you rather have hunting you, Cad or Hondo?
Hondo.
I'd fangirl for Hondo.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I'd rather have CAD hunting me because, usually somebody's around to save someone from CAD.
Yeah,
Not necessarily
okay,
from
that.
Hondo. Rowan Atkinson is Hondo.
Oh, that could work. That could work.
All right. Zaz asked, top 3 Benedict Cumberbatch. I can't believe I actually said his name the right way.
Mm-hmm.
What are your top 3 bumper car cummerbund movies?
He was. I'm not sure. I need to think about this one.
My number 1 is Star Trek Into Darkness. He played Khan amazingly. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, you know, when you need a baddie, you go Brit. It's as simple as that. That was it. They're like, who can we do? Let's do. Who does baddies good at the moment? Brits. So yeah, that would be why that was that happened. So yeah, that would be on my. I suppose that would be on my list as well. Definitely Smaug. Obviously Smaug
from Hobbit.
Yeah, from the Hobbit, and I'll say Doctor Strange.
I'm gonna go Spider-Man: No Way Home. His comedy in that was the best, in my opinion. And then, did you know he was in Zoolander? Zoolander 2, actually. But yeah, he was in Zoolander 2.
I'm trying to remember the scene that he was in, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
So, all right, moving on to the next question. And I'm not going to be able to answer this one. Top 3 Stephen King books. I don't read horror.
Okay, number 1 is probably an unpopular one. Is Maximum Overdrive. But it's always been a favorite. It's it's from that 80s era where it was just good, clean horror. and the movie was the movie was equally as good. And then after that, I would say The Green Mile and probably those are the only 2 I really, really like.
All right.
Carrie was good and Cujo was good, but I had a little difficulty keeping up with the narrative visually in my head, so I didn't like them as much. So I'd go with one of those as the 3rd.
All right. Top 3 Bruce Lee movies.
Oh.
Enter the Dragon, number 1. Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris.
Mm-hmm.
Ip Man.
No. Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee was Way of the Dragon, not Enter the Dragon.
You're right. I'm sorry. Way of the Dragon. Ip Man.
What?
Ip Man.
That wasn't Bruce Lee.
He was featured in it.
Yeah, but it wasn't Bruce Lee, the actor.
Okay, but what are yours?
Game of Death was quite good. I mean, shame it never got finished by him, but the fight scene that he choreographed between him and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was just interesting. Not because Bruce Lee's like 5 foot nothing, and Abdul-Jabbar is like over 7 foot, so it was just a bonkers fight scene, good fight scene. But nothing beats The Big Boss, his first one. So I would put number 1, The Big Boss, because that was his first movie. Then I would do Enter the Dragon, and then Way of the Dragon. So those would be my 3.
All right. Fists of Fury 3.
What's that?
The sequel to Fists of Fury 1 and 2, but I thought the 3rd one was the better one.
Okay.
All right. Top 3 movies you would erase from history if you could. Geely immediately comes to mind.
Oh, okay. So, number 1, The Sum of All Fears.
Okay.
The Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck as Jack Ryan. That movie destroyed that book. It put Tom Clancy on the big screen back years. It put it back absolutely donkey's years with that absolute crap. I walked out of the cinema after 15 minutes.
I remember you saying that.
The other one I would erase from history would be what's that? Moulin Rouge.
Oh, blasphemy!
I went to the cinema to watch it. So I do enjoy a good musical. I really do enjoy a good musical. I was told this was a good musical. I didn't agree with that. I thought the music was poorly ripped off. Here's the thing: when you're covering something, you got to give what is your cover. If it's a classic tune, then you've got to give it due respect. And I just think that they turned a lot of songs. Into a farce. It was I didn't like that. So I want that one erased. And the third movie that I would have erased from existence is, let's see, something else. A movie I mega loathe. You'll have to come back to me on my third.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna mention genre switching and homages to famous songs is my guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you remember 2 years ago for my birthday, we had Alex Melton on, who took alternative and made it country, country made it alternative. It is my guilty pleasure. So you saying Moulin Rouge hurts me to the core, Neil.
Okay, it hurts you.
Geely, definitely. I would have to say...
Oh, I know what my third is.
Let's get rid of Battlefield Earth. And, controversial opinion, let's get rid of Avatar.
Well, there's a sequel coming out soon, so that's not going to happen. Now, my third would be, sorry, it's another Affleck, but Daredevil.
Okay.
Killed the I'm a Daredevil fan. I have been a Daredevil fan since I was in school. One of my first DC, Batman and Daredevil were my first two comic book favorites when I was like 13, 14. So, I do not like it when Daredevil is treated disrespectfully, and that movie sucked, and then Netflix brought out a brilliant version of Daredevil that I absolutely love.
All right, last question and last chance for anybody to donate Patreon or sub right now. Last question, top 3 or 5, we'll go with 3 because we like 3. Top 3 robots or AIs from shows or movies. You cannot say anything from Star Wars, and yes, Bob can be one.
Top 3 robots / AIs from movies or TV or what?
From a show or movie, and any top any.
Okay.
So Danger Boat in Tick. Hal from Space Odyssey.
Okay.
And Johnny Five from Short Circuit.
Damn you! I was gonna say number 5 from. I was gonna say number 5 from Short Circuit. I was gonna say Kit from Knight Rider.
Okay.
I loved Kit from Knight Rider. When I was a kid, I used to have a radio control car that was the Knight Rider car.
Nice.
And the red thing that would go backwards and forwards on the front. So yeah, I was a.
Did it play the song?
Huh?
Did it play the song? Did you hear? Didn't.
No. It didn't. It didn't do that, unfortunately. And there is. Oh, what is the other one? Oh no, this is frustrating. Do yours. I need to think. I know what my third is. I'm just trying to think of the movie.
I said mine.
What you said yours? Did you?
Danger
Damn,
Boat,
okay.
Hal, and Johnny 5.
Oh right, okay, yeah, yes, you did. Oh god, I'm gonna just give me a few minutes. You know, I will think of something. I will think of something. Oh yeah, okay. That's one. There we go. The droid voiced by John Candy in Heavy Metal.
Okay. That is
Definitely.
that is definitely a reach, but I'll give that one to you. All right. So people have a 1 in 74 chance for each method of entry that they have done. I'm going to random.org. I'm typing in a minimum of 1. I'm typing in a maximum of 74. Give me a number between 1 and 10, Neil.
5.
5. I'm going to refresh it 5 times. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Number 44. Let me look at the list here. On number 44, Leebone 357 is our winner.
We'll have to get in touch with Leebone.
Let's see if he's currently... Nope, he is currently not in chat at this time, but Leebone 357 on Twitch. Congratulations, you are the winner.
Lee's a I was about to say he's a regular watcher of my GAC stream, but I haven't done one since the 3rd of September. So yeah. But yeah, congrats, Leebone. Well done, mate. We'll touch base and I'll get it in the mail to you as soon as I possibly can, mate.
Yep. Neil, what you got coming up on the channel? We got GA Center coming up.
Yes, we got GA Center coming up, and I keep saying that I'm going to do some retro.
You should.
Some retro gaming.
You really should.
But so I'm going to do. So I'm going to do some in the. We're going to do some in the after show. So while the after show is playing, I will be live streaming, playing some retro games. So come for the conversation and for watching me try to muddle my way. I got Super Mario Land. I got Super Mario Land, and that is what we're doing first. I've not played Super Mario Land on the Game Boy for ages. It's going to be fun. So yeah, come to the after show chat.
If you're a Patreon,
it will be like.
Yeah, if you're a Patreon or you're a Twitch sub, as long as your Discord is connected to either of those, you have access automatically through the system. If you don't, reach out to me. We'll resolve it.
Tilo Mad says can't wait for GA Center. He's flying high at the moment. He's in the top table.
Yeah. Yes, he is. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Thank you for celebrating Hondo with us. I mean, this has been a wonderful time. I'm hoping I pull a 330. Everybody send good juju for the 330 because I need Hondo in my life. 7 stars. So, Neil, anything else before we call it a night?
No, let's call it a night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so much. We'll see everybody in the after show. And be nice to each other, damn it. Neil?
Push the button.
Don't mind if I do.
What's going on? Where the hell are we? Paris?
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button.
Attention! This is Colonel Sanders in forward command. Abandon ship! Abandon ship! All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close down the circuits. Evacuate the city. Self-destruct mechanism has been activated. Abandon ship! Where is it? Where is it? It's gotta be here. Out of order! Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding. 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. The Escape Podcast was filmed in front of a live studio audience full of tweaked out Murder bears.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.